This is something for the coast. This is how we groove like the floaters when we float. This is how we move like a Leah back and forth. Go vacation on the 7-day cruise on the boat. As I quote funky lyrics as I smoke on the 22nd day, but we've been going since the first. Homie, I'm the curse, but I'm blessed with the gift. I'm a top shelf drinker, De Leon by the fifth, Perignon by the leader, bumping Missy misdemeanor with my baby by my side, looking good enough to eat her. This is for the divas, yeah, the independent mommies who got their own cash and ain't gotta ask nobody. Who got their own Mercedes Benz, yeah, the big body. Some got it off the pole stripping, some went to college. I'm giving y'all the knowledge, but the knowledge ain't free, cause you still gotta listen, pay attention, my G. I'm in position to be one of the best. Had to check in, get connected with the homie Digital West. Shout out to the D, the Notorious 313. It's a Midwest Connect, they respected by the G.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the G-Lew Show After Hours. And tonight we have a very, very special guest. It's been long overdue, and I can't wait. I've been waiting for this interview for a minute. So tonight we have her gracing our show and platform. Everyone out there, please, let me see. Hold on one second. Everyone out there, please give it up for our special guest. She is here, Miss Jen Magana from Convicted Hearts. She is here. Fix my mic. Hello, how are you doing, Jen?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, doing great. Hold on, I know you can't see me. Okay, there we go. Good evening.
Good evening. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to be seen. Glad you can make it tonight. How are you?
Yeah, I'm honored to be here. Thank you. I'm good. It's been a busy day, but now it's time to kick back. So
that's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. Salute to everyone in the chat. Thank you for joining us this evening. I know you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate it. First and foremost, our guest tonight is Jen Magana. As you all know, unless you've been under a rock, she has her channel on YouTube, and it is very popular. It's popping. It's a great channel, Convicted Hearts, where she interviews a lot of. Well, I'll let her tell you more about her channel, because I want to know too as well, about Convicted Hearts, how it started, what made you start the channel, and get into what you do, like who you interview and why you interview those Convicted Hearts.
Yeah. You know, this is something a lot of people don't know, so I'm gonna, share that with you here.
Okay.
I originally started my channel with keeping in mind maybe people that are victims of crimes. Because if anyone knows my story, like myself and my family are both what would be considered the victim and the perpetrator of a crime, right? A lot of people know my brother took our father's life. And it took me a couple years to kind of wrap my head around that and get right with God and be able to forgive. And I was able to do that. But it's a work in progress every day. But through doing that, I also connected really well with people who were formerly incarcerated.
Right. And
those people really have touched my life and been some of my biggest supporters, and I with them as well, So it's kind of I don't know. My heart is convicted for both sides. Like I'm there for both, and that's kind of where the name came from,
Right. If I mean, I'm just asking if you can, or if you want to maybe elaborate more on your story with, I know you said your brother took your father's life. I don't know how deep you want to go, but if you want to just elaborate a little more, just to give the people a little more insight who may be questioning or guessing what happened.
Definitely. I'm an open book. So it actually goes back, I'll just put it all out there because it actually goes back a little further. My brother's first sentence he caught was in the early 2000s, and he actually he shot our stepfather. Our stepfather at the time was a local sex crimes detective, very well respected in the community. So that was a huge, it was a nightmare. Our family went through a lot. We were dealing with a lot of media sort of attacking us, following us, wanting to know what was going on. I didn't even have a clue what happened, why it happened. So he does his first term. We stand beside my brother. My stepfather actually even writes a letter to the judge after surviving this, pleading for mercy and showing his forgiveness. So my brother does that first term, around close to 10 years. Gets out. He's out for close to 3 years. And there's a lot in between here, but I'm trying to sum it up so people.
It's okay. It's okay. Take your time.
Yeah. And he's out close to 3 years, just about to get off parole. And my father comes up missing. They were supposed to be on a camping trip, and I never heard from my dad again after that. And unfortunately, I had to eventually call in a welfare check. And when they went to check on my dad, they actually found my dad there outside of his home in a travel trailer. And he had been there for a couple weeks. So, yeah, that's it's a lot. I know that's a lot.
How old were you at this? Where were you at this stage?
So this has only been, in February, it will be 8 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
So, it's still, I know that sounds like a lot of time, but honestly.
That's very fresh. No, that isn't. That's not long at all.
Yeah. So it's still, something that I deal with. And like I said, the first couple of years, I was very angry. And I still have my moments. But after 2 years, my brother did actually write me a letter apologizing. He had some issues he's dealing with, substance issues. And after a while, I thought, and this is just me, everybody can deal with things how they do. But if I want to be forgiven for my own sins, I'm not saying they're anything like that, but I have to forgive also. And I work on that daily.
Right. Could I ask you at this time, was this what made you get closer? Because I see that you're close with God and everything. Did this help you, or was this beforehand? What helped you get closer to God as well?
You know what? Honestly, we were raised in church from the time I can remember. Since babies. And when our parents divorced, I was about 12 years old. And here's the part a lot of people trip out on too, is our dad, our real dad, was a retired corrections officer.
Right. I heard you speak about that before.
Yeah. So around the time my parents divorced, I sort of stayed within the church. My brother sort of rebelled, which I think is kind of normal, maybe for boys. When mom, gets a divorce, she got remarried eventually. And I think my brother just dealt with it differently.
Right.
And, I think my relationship with God is, I know it's always been there, but it's had its ups and downs. Like everyone else, I'm sure, there's times that I feel really close to God. There's times that I feel like my relationship with the Lord is struggling, but I've always felt like he's right there.
Right.
Never felt separated from God.
Well, would you say, and this is just for people who listen and may have their own issues or thoughts or questions about God, what would you say was it that made you question him or have your ups and downs? Was it because of things that were happening that you blamed him for? Like, what would you say were your issues with God?
I think for myself, one of the biggest issues was, just like I stated, first the issue with my stepfather, right? My brother shoots my stepfather.
Right.
My stepfather's willing to forgive my brother. We actually are looking at a term where he's going to be able to get out and make a life for himself again, redeem himself. And I'm like, thank you, Lord. It could have went way worse. And he gets out, and 3 years later takes our father's life. It just felt like such a cruel joke.
Wow. Stepfather and your father. How, I mean, how were you able to, I mean, this is your brother. I don't know the relationship you had with your brother. Were you guys real close? Like, how did you, if you were, how
Mhm.
this how did this affect you and affect your relationship? Obviously he was locked up after, but how did this affect your relationship with your brother? How did you look at him, receive him? Like,
So it was devastating. Everybody always thought my brother and I were twins. We're 14 months apart to the day. And then they assumed he was the older one, but he's actually younger than me. So we're the only blood siblings. Like I
right,
have a step brother, step sister, but due to the circumstances, they don't speak to me. That's their
right,
choice. I found out later in life that I have a half sister. My dad had a daughter he didn't know about in Germany when he was stationed over there before he married my mom. So I'm in contact with her now, but it was just my brother and I. So we were very close. So this whole situation, it broke my heart. It broke my heart.
mm,
Um,
wow.
yeah.
I'm sure it did. I don't even want to. I don't know how that makes you feel. I don't want. I didn't mean to
No, I
get you
can.
sad and all that.
No. It's
Okay.
not that I can talk about it. I can deal with it. Like I have my moments, but I would rather like be open to share with other people because you really don't know. Like there could be someone even watching right now, right? That's not
Right.
commenting, and they're going through something. It might not be exactly the same thing, but they might be going through something that's really heavy for them.
Right.
You know,
This can help
and
them. This can definitely
exactly.
help them. I mean,
Yeah.
this is why I wanted you on the show because I know your story help. Like you help people. Like you have a certain I don't know what to call it, like spirit aura, a way that you do connect with people. You know what I mean? And you have a beautiful spirit. You know what I mean? That's what I notice about you. Let me ask you this, Jen. Being that you're just so sweet and just a beautiful soul and inside and out. You know what I mean? But was there ever a time when you were growing up and like you went through your stages? Maybe you were, I don't know, Chola. I don't know what stages you went through, but were there stages of Jen that
Hmm.
maybe that you can share with us
Yeah,
that we don't know?
I definitely had my little moments,
Okay.
growing up. The good thing is those moments were short-lived because
Okay.
so when my dad was in the house, my dad he ruled with an iron fist, so
Mm-hmm.
there was no getting anything past him. And so when my parents divorced, I was like 12.
Okay.
And but I was the only girl in the entire family. So I had all these boy cousins, my brother. So it was kind of hard for me to, I mean, even though I
Right.
was like
To
trying to
be
get out,
bad.
yeah, because
Right.
everybody knew, like, okay, we know who your brother is, we know who your cousins are. No,
Right. Right.
yeah, I mean, I had my little moments. I got kicked out of my middle school, I got kicked out of my high school.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a continuation school. I did graduate. I was a teen mom.
Mm-hmm.
Um, People that know my story know maybe that how I became a mother, was not by, how
Right.
do I
Right.
say it,
Right.
a choice.
Right.
How that went down, but I made the best of it. My son is you know, one of the best things that's ever happened to me. So,
Wow. Wow.
I feel like I've always had situations where maybe we're trying, but I've made the best out of them and kept it pushing.
How do That's what I want to ask you too, because like I just mentioned, I wanted to get a little bit about your past because you have such a beautiful soul and beautiful spirit and how people view you. Again, how were you able to be this like you said, you did say you questioned God, so I'm sure you had your moments and things, but how were you able to still be so positive, put that smile on your face and give us what you give us, like when you've been through so much, like you said with your son, how it happened, even though that turned out to be great, but stepfather, your father, your brother, your family, all of these things, and you're still able to present us with positivity. You
Mhm.
know what I mean, and tell your story with conviction, but be so positive and a blessing to us. You know what I mean, without being negative and f the world and being someone that is um, shows her, what you've been through, because most people that have been through what you have been through wouldn't be so positive and
Right.
wouldn't be here even today, speaking to us. They would probably be doing other things or may
Yeah.
not even be here at all.
Right. Well, see, I did have moments like that. There were a couple times in my life where I didn't want to be here anymore. And, I regret that I tried, but I tried not to be here twice
Mm,
when I was younger. But I'm here for a reason, and we don't always look like what we're going through, right?
right.
Like I can
That's a
show
fact.
up, so we can show up for
That's
each
a
other
fact.
and smile
Right, right.
and have a conversation. But this right here, like talking to you guys, this is what helps me. I don't know. It makes my heart feel good to reach out to other people and maybe connect or encourage others to just keep going, keep pushing. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. A lot of people are hurting. A lot of people are going through it. But I promise you, it's worth it to just keep fighting, keep going, and doing your best. Keep showing up for yourself. Now, I'm going to be honest, there's a lot of days that I struggle to not be really down and out. And those are the days that I have to draw closer to God.
Right, right.
Or, maybe I'll reach out to a friend. A lot of times I catch myself, one of my biggest faults is sometimes I feel like I'm a burden. If I'm feeling down and I'm like, damn, I really need someone to talk to. And I'll feel like, no, I don't want to be a burden. I want to be the one to like encourage someone else. So that's a struggle for me to reach out to someone when I need it.
I'm glad you said that. I'm the same way. Like I was gonna ask you that next. Who does Jen like look up to, or if there's anyone that has helped you along the way, maybe a mentor or just someone you could reach out to? Because when you are like I'm the same way. It's hard to reach out to people, hard to talk to people about how you feel. Like you keep it balled in or just deal with it. You know what I mean? We're strong people, but like you said, everyone has there are things they go through and need someone to talk to, or I guess, or whatever. But we feel we can't talk to everyone. You know what I mean? Especially these days,
Oh
people
yeah.
use that against you. You know what I mean? So, yeah. How do you deal with that?
And I definitely, okay, I have some definite trust issues with confiding in people for good reason.
Right, right, right.
Um, another thing, like not to get back on the subject, but another thing after, the situation where my father was killed, my brother had a daughter when he was in high school. That daughter came back into my life after that happened. And I hadn't seen her since she was like 3. And that I was happy about that. I thought, okay, I've got a little piece of family, like someone I can confide in. We can, be there for each other. Well, after my brother was sentenced, his daughter ended up suing me
Mm,
for half of my father's estate. And I was forced to sell my dad's house, his truck,
wow,
his tools, everything he owned. So, mind you,
wow.
um, I could have dealt with that a lot easier had I known up front. But it's like I got played. And then the day he was sentenced, I'm served with paperwork, like just took me and then blocked on all platforms
Wow.
from making contact with her. So that gave me even deeper um, issues with trusting. Okay, so now my own blood has done me dirty multiple times. But I think a lot of us probably have experienced, family
Oh
doing
yeah.
it. You
Oh
know,
yeah. Sometimes family is the worst. You know what I mean? Do you the worst because they can. You know what I mean? Because they have access that no one else has, and
exactly.
it's just unfortunate. But yeah, family is sometimes those are the worst ones.
I
You
think
know?
and you made a good point. Like we have to be I don't know. I don't want to say be careful because I don't want people to feel like you can't reach out to people. But we do
Right.
have to be cautious of who we give access to
Right.
ourselves. So honestly, I connected with a lot of people right here on YouTube, and that might sound crazy, like, okay, these are strangers or but I really do feel like in our community right here, like we've built somewhat of a family,
Yes,
like,
I agree.
yeah.
I agree. I
So,
agree. Like even like with you, I mean, same way. It's like we become a family. Like the sister, I don't have, even though we're not physically, all that, but we build
right.
a connection and a bond
I
with
agree.
people. You know what I mean? And it's beautiful. Sometimes you get more love and support from the people, like you said, strangers than your own family and friends.
And that is the case for myself, definitely. I get more support right here and encouragement. I mean, there's people like the last few weeks, okay? I've been going
Hmm.
through a hard time.
Right.
It hasn't been easy. There's been a lot of stuff with my health, my personal life going on. And it's people from here, like from either that tap into my channel, your channel, the round table, like they know, like, okay, Jen hasn't been on, something's up, like what's going on? And I'll get little
Right.
messages like, where are you at? Are you okay?
Right.
And as much as that might seem like nothing to someone else, that really, really means a lot to me and touches my heart that someone is thinking about me.
Exactly. It's beautiful to, like you said, to have that love from the community of people on YouTube, and just the family bond. Same way here, you know what I mean? Met a lot of great people, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it's beautiful.
most
Tell us
definitely.
about, since you mentioned the round table, your connection with the round table, the homie Cholo Trucker,
Mhm.
Paul and Joe, and that's another beautiful thing you guys built over there, the round table. And I like how you guys come together,
Mhm.
and then they add you there. It's just a beautiful thing. Tell us about that connection, how that came about, and what you guys have going on at the round table.
Really, it was just kind of I mean, I kind of feel like it was a fluke thing. I just filled in one week,
Hmm.
and I guess, I mean, I felt really comfortable right away, and it did feel like such a, you guys, just to give you a little inside view of what it's like there, it really is like a brother sister, brothers and brothers relationship within that group,
Right.
and you won't meet uh, more warm and embracing individuals than you will right there. Like everybody really has each other's back and is very much like tuned in to what's going on with each other, doesn't dive into drama, get caught up in any of that that's going on.
Right.
It's really like family. So I just filled in one week. It went it went well, and I was asked to come back, and I've been there ever since.
Ever since. It's
Yeah. So
beautiful too. And I
I look
think you fit in perfectly. And I like the thing you do with the birthday
yeah,
shout outs and all of that. It's just a great um, mixture of what you guys bring together. You know what I mean over there. So salute to the round table,
yes.
um, Cholo Trucker, Pablito, Joe, LA Times, the whole crew. Much love and respect. Tell us though a little bit. Let me go back to your channel, Convicted Hearts. I know you've interviewed a lot of people. Tell us a little bit about that journey, um, how you kind of got comfortable with interviewing, and some of your interviews that you really admire the most, or some of your favorite interviews
Okay.
along this journey.
Well, I mean, I'm actually a very shy person in real life, like super shy.
Right,
Mm. To the point, I mean, when I was a little girl, like I would cry if I had to talk to someone like
right,
adult. So it's not easy for me, Like there's times I really have to force myself to like come out of my shell and speak to people. But I never regret it. Like once I do, it's always a lesson or a relationship or a friendship in it that I'm like, okay, I know this happened for a reason.
right.
With that being said, I'm sure you know this too. there's interviews and things that happen or are supposed to happen that fall through and they don't happen. And that always happens for a reason. I always feel like God has my back. Like if something doesn't work out, it's because it wasn't supposed to.
Right.
But with that said, each person that I have interviewed has a special place in my heart, and I do stay in touch with them. But one, for example, that stands out is Karen. And Karen did 30 years in
Wow.
the state of California.
Wow.
Yeah. She went in
Wow.
at just like 17, 18 years old with a brand new baby. And she got caught up in a bad situation where she was with a group of people. And because of the way the laws are in California, everyone else kind of split, did their own thing, or took plea deals. And she got the brunt of the charges.
Mm.
And it took her through such a journey that, like, just her faith and her, like, unwavering will to get home to her family. I mean, and she went through a lot. Like, she didn't get it right away. You know, she went through her, like, she was fighting, she was doing things while she was locked up.
Mm.
And she finally, when she did get it, she got it. Like, I need to get home to my son. And
Right.
her story just touched me so much because I don't know, there's just something about her. And I knew that when I was talking to her. And then after we talked and did the interview, it kind of opened the door and connected me to so many other women that reached out and are like, hey, I know Karen, like she helped me with this, or she helped, hook me up with this company or with this rehab or with this. She's just such a light to people that are going through it. So that's someone that really sticks out to me.
Mm. Wow. Salute to Karen. I mean, 30 years. You don't hear many stories like that of women. I mean, you hear guys, but female to do 30 years, stay strong and solid. You know what I mean? Salute to her.
Yeah, she's doing good things
Wow.
with her life. Yeah.
Yeah, salute to her. And you've interviewed a lot of people. Are we gonna get any are there any future plans for any books or documentary stories on your movie? Maybe, you know what I mean. I can see all of that coming from you, Jen, because you have quite a story to tell.
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to it. I have talked to a couple people that have reached out to me. I just want it to be the right situation, One thing about myself is I'm very careful for a reason with how much I do share, only because, my brother still is incarcerated, and anyone that's in California knows how that goes.
Right.
And a lot of people, no shade, but they'll speak on things that are still current. I don't do that. I don't speak to people who are current. I mean, not on my platform anyways, who are currently incarcerated for a reason.
Right. Right.
I'm going to respect that man or that woman's life and let them do their thing. And I'll be a support system, but I don't have to put that all out there, But I would love to share my story, our story. Our family has been through a tremendous amount, and not that we've made it out perfectly and without any scars, but we're still here, we're still together. I mean, I still have a relationship with my mom, with my stepdad. I have all my kids. So, I mean, I feel like there is a story to tell there, and, try to encourage people even in their darkest moments.
Right, right. How do your kids feel about what you're doing with your channel and the things like they see mom on YouTube and doing your thing? How do the kids feel about that?
Oh my gosh, this is interesting. I don't know. So in the beginning, my daughters, they really encouraged me, and
Right.
I don't think they thought I would follow through with it though. They just saw mom like depressed in the house, shut down. Because there was a period of time in the beginning where I didn't really leave my house or do anything for 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
And they were like, Mom, my girls were really into YouTube at the time. And they're like, just watch these stories. And there were people that, I would listen to their stories, and some of them would have a happy ending, some wouldn't, but it was therapeutic. It was like therapy,
Right.
So that's how I sort of originally just started watching YouTube and getting into it. But now, I'm going to be honest, my kids are, some of them are embarrassed. They're like, oh my gosh, Mom, this is my friend saw you and was like, oh, I saw your mom, and then like my little one, the only daughter that's willing to come on camera, right? Ruby, the little one, she thinks it's so cool,
Right.
This is kind of funny, honestly, so embarrassing, but it's funny. I have a sense of humor too. So
right.
Yeah, I had my parent teacher conference, right?
Mm-hmm.
And her teacher is like, yeah, Ruby told me, we asked her, what does her mom do? What does her dad do? She didn't know what her dad does, but she said her mom likes to talk to guys in jail. And I was like,
wow.
No, not exactly.
Wow.
She goes,
womp,
and I,
womp.
yeah, you can imagine how that sounded or looked. You know what I mean? So once I broke it down and told the teacher, she's like, yeah, I actually Googled you already and I saw, what you do.
Okay.
She was laughing because how it came out.
Right.
A kid's little innocence. They just say it however it sounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
On the flip side, though, let me ask you this: the kids see you, excuse me, the teachers. But what about on the flip side, where you have now, Jen? Even though you don't push that and all that, you're positive, but you may be somewhat low key, like a sex symbol too. I know you get all the DMs and the guys too are like, hey, how do you deal with that part? I'm sure you get it. I mean, let's be real.
I just, honestly, I just keep my head looking straight. I tune it out, you know, not that I'm ignoring anyone. I love everybody across the board equally.
Right.
But I just don't play into any funny business. That's all.
Right. Right. Applaud you for that. Applaud her for that. Because, sometimes, and I just ask you that because sometimes it is easy to get caught up in that. Like, you see sometimes people, I don't want to say change, but they kind of come in one way and kind of drift over here because this YouTube world and all of these things, it can get you caught up, so to speak. You know what I mean? If you're not strong-minded and focused on what you really want to do, you can sway this way, sway that way, especially when the popularity comes, your channel grows. We see, even though this is YouTube, it gets low-key Hollywood sometimes, as you see, right?
You can really spot those people that go that route, right?
Right.
And in all honesty, there has been a few times where, obviously without saying who, because I'm not one of those people that's all about exposing or putting people on blast. There's always going to be people that can be, especially, I'm just speaking as a female.
Right.
I can help you out. Like, I can really put you on.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'll get my boy to start doing this for you or that for you or making it. But there's always a little something, at the end of that conversation where.
That's what I was going to ask you too. Not to cut you off, but since you spoke on that, how do you deal with that part too, differentiating or separating business from personal when people may come seeming like a sheep and maybe, to be this way, business is business. But then once you get later down the line, okay, it switches up. Okay, now it's like, hey, okay, what's up with this? What's up with that? Maybe this, maybe that. And it's not so much business anymore. Or I don't know, however it goes. I'm sure you've dealt with that too. How do you deal with that part? And moving forward after that?
That's only happened, a couple times. So it's not like it's all, And how I handle it is with grace. I'm not out to embarrass anyone or humiliate anyone. I wouldn't want someone doing that to me. So basically, I'm just going to ghost the situation.
Right.
Period. That's how I handle it. That's what works for me.
Have you always, because some people may come in I'm sure, again, because even someone like you, a guy may think he can maybe get over or are like, oh, okay, I can run a little game on her, whatever. Obviously, you're not like, you're sweet and all that, but you know what's up, and you like you said, you were raised around boys, so you know all the game, I'm sure.
Okay.
So do you get that where people may think, okay, I can play her, but not really knowing, like, no, you can't. You know what I mean? I have to deal with those type of people.
Yeah, most definitely. But you already said right there what I was gonna answer. I was brought up around all boys.
Right.
I've seen it, heard it, watched it. Um, I'm not saying I'm all knowing, but I've got a pretty good sense of seeing something coming my way.
Right. Right.
And for the most part, the men or gentlemen that support me and are on my channel are all like wonderful people. They show up, they show support. I do likewise, and I really appreciate that. It is the true sense of brother sister type love and support, and that means a lot to me. So shout out to all the gentlemen and the ladies.
Speaking on one of those guys, he
Yes.
just joined us, Cholo Trucker. Good evening, sir. Salute.
That's right, brother, right there.
Much love.
Much love.
Yeah, much love. That's beautiful. Are there any, like, you've interviewed a lot of people? I know you've been in and out, like you said recently, you've been going through some things, and you're coming back stronger than ever, I'm sure, for the new year. Out of all the interviews you've done, like, things that you want to do, are there some people that you would like to interview, some things that you want to conquer that you have not done yet in your journey?
Yeah, I would. I mean, I would like to, I think probably a lot of females are into true crime. I would like to sort of delve into a bit of the true crime scene and
Right.
speak to some people who maybe haven't got closure in their own lives. And they're connected somehow in a personal way to a situation that's a true crime situation in their life with their family, and just maybe help support them and try to get them answers, or at least be a support system to them. I would like to eventually start, I don't know, something where I also can help support families, because like for myself and my mom, like we're family members of someone who's incarcerated, and sometimes that comes with the feeling of isolation.
Right.
It's somewhat embarrassing maybe to share that with some people because they look down on you. But I really would like to create, and I'm doing so with my channel, but in a larger way, I'd like to create a support system for family members of those that are incarcerated, and let them know, like, you're not alone. There's people here for you that aren't judging you. And
Right.
when you're having one of those days where you feel like you're alone, or your family's more messed up than others, you can reach out.
Right. When I think of your channel, like, what I kind of vision, like, I don't know if it's possible. I know prisoners have access to stuff, but I could see, like, what I would love to see too, like, your channel being that is Convicted Hearts. The title tells it all, but you being able to reach, just like how your YouTube channel reaches us and everyone, somehow, like, it could be reached to the people convicted in prison and things, and they could watch your channel. Like, I think that would be great. You know what I mean?
I think that's definitely a direction I would like to go as well, because I mean, like I said, I just feel like, okay, so how I would explain my heart. I feel like I'm here to love what other people may view as the unlovable.
Right.
Like, there's some people that others might be like, they're trash. Like, hey, they ruined their life. They made their bed. And there's only one category of people that I feel strongly about, and that's people that harm children. And that's not who I'm speaking of. Like, that's, someone else can reach out there. I don't know, but people that have made a mistake, I don't want them to just feel like they got to check out. Even if you're inside, you can still live your life. You can try to educate yourself. Not just try, you can. Shout out to my brother, actually. He just got his GED last week.
Salute, bro.
So
Salute, salute, salute.
I don't want people, I don't want people to feel like they have to give up, like there's nothing they can accomplish after making a mistake or multiple mistakes.
Right,
So yeah, I would like to do that.
right. That's beautiful. How does one like Jen like be open to, like you said, it's hard to open up to people, period. I mean, accept people, period, to open your heart to people.
Mhm.
Like, how do you um find that place with you, like to open up or have people reach out to you, whether it be friends, whether it be guys? I don't know, your situation, but how does that work when it's when it's hard these days and you don't know who to trust or things of that nature? How is it for you to find that space as well, because you're still human, you want to be loved? Like, how does
Yeah,
you know how do you find that space too as well?
it's difficult. It really is. So without, I would love to just, and I can one day, but at the moment what I'm going through, I can't spill it all, but I'm going through something right now that requires me to be careful.
Right,
Um, just follow the right steps and get to a space where I'm in a safe place to share um, how I made it out.
right,
So,
right.
but I mean, honestly, friends and things like that, the best way to reach out to me is, probably on Instagram. Like, can always connect like that.
Hmm.
Um, I love to get a positive message, or even if someone, I get messages from people that are going through it, and for some reason, I don't know why, but I've always been better at, I can tell someone else, you're gonna be fine, you're gonna be good, like you're gonna make it through this, much better than I'm able to tell myself that. So for whatever reason,
I
it does
agree.
encourage
I'm the
me.
same way.
Yeah, so you
I,
know
I
what.
mean, that's why I asked. I mean, you have like, I see so many things like with you. Obviously, your channel is growing and you're doing great things, but it's almost like you. That's what I see you doing. Like, people being able to reach out to you, almost like not a counselor, but somewhat of a counselor to people that have gone through certain things. Like, I feel that you're that person they
Mhm.
can feel comfortable, because everyone can't feel comfortable talking to everyone, or don't feel like when they talk to someone they have their best interests at heart as well. Like, you know what I mean? I feel that you bring that across and someone will feel comfortable with you. Like, I could feel comfortable with you. I feel like
Yeah,
just talking to you and telling you things. So I'm sure people, females especially, would be comfortable with you. You know what I mean? I could see that for you. Like, do you see yourself maybe doing that? I don't know, like even speaking, like I said, maybe having your channel accessible to prisoners, but maybe even you talking to prisoners, going to prisons. I see you posting videos, you go by the prison and salute them and all that. Do we see things like that in the future for Jen?
most definitely, and those people, I mean, there are people, that are tuned in that know I'm supporting them from out here. And there's ways that they can see that and they know that
Right.
they're not forgotten about. And that means the world to me, to just pay that back to them and let them know, like, hey, we're thinking about you out here. Like, you're not forgotten about, you're not thrown away. Your soul, your spirit, like your life is valuable,
Right.
you know? And I definitely would love to go and maybe share my story with them if it would encourage them to be, I don't know, just to keep pushing, or to be like, you know what, your family might, you might think your family hates you, right? But your family loves you, more than likely. I mean, there's those situations where maybe that's true, but more than likely, your family's just waiting for you to make those positive changes and to turn your life around, or even you'd be surprised how much just an apology, like, hey, I know I messed up
Right.
and I'm
Right.
sorry. That goes
Right.
a long ways.
It does, and somehow people. I think some people. I don't know if it's pride or what it is, but some people find it hard
Yeah.
to just say those words. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like you
think it's
said,
pride, and then I think it's the fear of rejection too. Because a
yeah,
lot of us that have, that have carried a lot of pain and baggage, like we have faced a lot of rejection in life. So once you get that, at a young age, you kind of carry that with you, and you don't want to feel that again.
right, right, right. I agree. Um, Going back to the interviews that you've done and the Convicted Hearts channel, are there anyone? I don't know if I asked you this earlier. Is there anyone that you would like to interview that you have not already, or that you have in your sights, or would be a dream interview for Jen? Maybe if even it's something that may be far fetched, but hey, you never know.
That's a good one. That's a good question. Now you got me thinking.
It's
I
okay.
normally don't think out that far in advance, because then I really start like trying to.
We're gonna speak it into existence as
There you
well too.
go.
So we
Yeah.
want to say that, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I got to think about that one for a minute. I'm
Okay,
gonna come
okay.
up with
We'll
something.
come back to that. We'll come back to that. Um, so what is in the future like? I mean, we have a new year coming up. I heard you kind of mention and say some things before, like you got some things coming up, some big things. Can
Mhm.
we get a sneak peek of what we have coming up from Jen in 2023?
Most definitely. Well, I do have quite a long list of females who have come out from doing large amount of time in California and other states.
Hmm.
Um, so much so that I'm blessed that I've been connected with, like I said, with Karen, with Bernadette, with Vanessa. Shout out to Vanessa. Um, she and I will talk when the time is right. We talk behind the scenes, but
Right.
um, she invited me to go to San Diego in April. April
Okay.
is Second Chance Month.
Okay.
So there's going to be a march down there, and people basically, uniting and just showing support for women and men that have got out and are having their second chance and making the best of it.
Right.
And she's associated with a college down there, so I may show up there and speak to some people, but
Dope. Dope.
we'll see what happens.
Dope. Dope. Dope.
Yeah.
Also, I see the homegirl Denise in the comments, and I know
Yes.
you, Denise. Collaborate a lot and do your thing on your channel. Tell us about your connection with Denise and what you guys do, because you guys have some great shows too. I get to check out from time to time.
I
Shout
just
out to
love
Denise.
you guys. I'm sure a lot of you know Denise, but if you don't know this, know that Denise has one of the biggest hearts you will ever come across. Yes,
Yeah.
she's tough. She's no, all that, but she has such a genuine, loving heart for others. And talk about, a prayer warrior. If you ever need prayer, you know, she's going to show up and she's going to be there to pray with you or pray for you. But we have good conversations, just when we get on, we talk about, everyday stuff, family stuff. We talk about current events, what's going on in the world, and what's going on in our own personal lives. But that's someone right there. Denise is someone that's definitely you can trust to have a conversation with, and I value that in her for sure.
Right. Right. Shout out to Denise Castillo. I respect her too. Much love to Denise. She's a great, 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 great lady. Much
Yes,
respect to you, Denise.
shout
Like
out.
you said, great heart and everything. Yeah. Is there anyone, like I asked you earlier, like mentors or anyone that you could, like? You're welcome, Denise. Like that you would say helped you along the way. You want to give a shout out to, like
Oh yeah,
anyone special like that.
sure. So I have to, like, from the jump, who I first started watching with this channel, um, called Hard Intentions.
Okay.
And this is Mitch Smiley. He actually did 38 years in the state of California. But so I started watching his channel. His stories were very much realistic. They weren't glorifying, it was what it was. He's very like cut and dry. Like,
Mm.
this is what happened, this is
Right.
what I did. There wasn't any glorifying war stories more than what they were. I mean, they're war stories, but it wasn't making it out to be something unrealistic or unbelievable.
Right.
His wife, Adrian, I actually, back in the day, I did my very first interview with Adrian, and I was so shy. Like, oh my God, that was so hard for me. But she's the one who originally encouraged me to do this. And she said this sort of the same thing like you mentioned. Like, Jen, I feel like you have a connection with people. You have a heart for the people, like in some sort of way, like, I don't know, a counselor or like a, some sort, there's something, some way that I can be of use to people that are hurting or need someone, right?
Right.
So she encouraged me to start my channel originally. So shout out to Heart Intentions, Miss Adrian. Yes, most definitely. That was my first connections here on YouTube. And then obviously, Cholo Trucker,
Right.
Pablo, Sunny,
Right.
Big Joe, like all of those
Big
guys.
Sonny, shout out to the homie Sonny too.
Sonny's doing big things.
Sonny's doing big things right now, man. I'm proud of Sonny, man. Much salute, Sonny.
That's right. So that's kind of where it started for me.
Right. Wow. We talked about things coming up. She gave us a sneak peek, not much, but we got some great things coming up. Are there anything like because you, like I said again, you've done a lot kind of in a small frame, great interviews and things. Are there any interviews or anything that you've done that you would like, because of course we're gonna have the link in the comment section for people to connect with your channel if they haven't already. I'm sure all my followers follow you. But are there anything like you want to highlight that you've done that you would like people to maybe check out? If there's anything like about Jen you want to know, or you're curious about, or you want to really tap into, this is what you go to and you can really find that here. Like,
well, I just barely put out like a couple of videos cooking. I love to cook.
okay.
I love to cook.
Somebody said that in the comments earlier that you be cooking some bomb stuff.
Yes, I love to feed people. That's like my love language, like how I show people I love them. Also, like, I don't have anything ready on the spot, but I write poetry. So I'm going to start putting that out there. It's something I've done.
Wow. Something I did not know. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to start sharing some of that, and I don't know. I am going to create some merch. I'm working with someone and getting a logo going, but I just
got to get the Convicted Hearts shirts. Like,
no,
like seriously.
I definitely do. Like, but I just wanted to make it just right. That's the thing with me. Like, I have to just take the plunge and do it. Like, instead of trying to perfect everything, like, I'm going to make it nice, but I just have to do it. Yeah.
Right. Speaking of cooking, I know we had the homie Drunken Chef in here.
Yeah.
That's the homie too. He's gonna be on here, people, soon. A couple weeks, I think. But maybe you guys, I don't know if you guys maybe do a collaboration cooking show episode or something.
Yes,
we would love to see that. What up, Vanessa? Yeah, we need to have that.
Yeah,
that would be dope.
Yeah, I was gonna do that. Like, I'm gonna get his seasonings and do something. I saw just the video that Cholo did with his stuff.
Dope. I've seen that.
So that like kind of inspired me too. Like, I gotta get my hands on those seasonings and put my.
I got them too. I wish I could reach it. It's in my kitchen, but I got Drunken Chef's products. I got the seasoning. Okay. So salute to Drunken Chef. I support him. Dope seasoning. Like, I use it. I'm not just saying that. I use it. I just used it tonight when I cooked tonight. So salute to Drunken Chef. Yeah. He has great products. Check out his seasoning.
Yeah, everybody that mentions his stuff says that. So it's true.
It's official.
Yeah.
It's official. I approve this message.
Right?
Yeah. Shout out to Drunken Chef. And he'll be on the show soon. So salute to you. So we found out tonight that Jen cooks. She does poetry. Of course, she's an incredible interviewer, host. She's a therapist. She's a counselor. She's soon to be an author. I'm sure a producer, maybe director soon. wears many hats. Is there anything that you want to do that we did not speak on that you have your sights on, maybe conquering one day?
I don't know. I mean, I may possibly. I'm like I said, I am super shy, but I've talked to a couple people that have brought up maybe being in a part in a movie, but
You already got the connections. You know all the
yeah,
big shots now. All these Sonny's Hollywood now. You know all these people. So I mean, why not? I think it's only right.
yeah. So maybe, but that would just be like a icing on the top. My biggest, like the biggest thing for me is just connecting with everyday people.
Right.
And being there for everyday people and encouraging everyone like, hey, times are tough. You're going to make it. You're going to get through it. Just keep pushing, keep holding on. Don't throw in the towel and think that's it, because things do get greater later.
That's a fact. That's a fact right there. Wow. That is a fact. Anyone out there have any questions? I mean, I know I've been talking to Jen, but it was people earlier that wanted to ask you things. I know we have a lot of people in the comment. Is there any questions you would like me to ask Jen, or that you would like to know why we have her here? You know, because I have a lot more things I want to ask you. Sometimes you go blank, like, man, because it's just we're speaking of so much. But I want to invite anyone that has questions for Jen. Please drop it in the comment, and I'll gladly ask her.
Yes,
well.
That's right. House said on Traviesos too. That was such an honor to be able to
Traviesos. Shout out to incredible Javier.
Right. See how that works? Like, it's just so many good people.
Yeah.
You know.
Another brother I met as well, and great friend of mine now. You know what I mean?
Yes. Nay Love.
Nay Love, that's my girl. Shout out to Nay Love. That's my partner. My love. Shout out Nay Love. What up, Nay?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, let me see. House of Tattoos. Do you have a small piece of poetry that you can share with us now?
I knew
he put you on the spot. He put you on the spot.
I'm not good at being put on the spot. You know what? I would, but I literally, like, the way my brain works or doesn't work, I have to write everything down. I have a folder or a few folders with all my poetry that I'm going to end up, typing them out. But no, I don't have anything.
No freestyle tonight, House. No freestyle tonight, buddy.
That right now.
We tried it, bro. I tried, bro. I'm sorry. No freestyle tonight. Okay, let me see. Hello, listeners in the background. Shout out to Nay Love. Nay Love does poetry too. We're gonna bring Nay Love on soon. But so let me see. Trying to see if I missed any questions. Everyone just saying you're sending their love. You're the bomb.
I'll send my love back to you guys. Appreciate you. All of you.
Okay. And as far as like music, okay, let me ask you this, because I'm a music guy. As far as music, when Jen is just like relaxing, like now it's Friday night, maybe when you get off, you're gonna relax, do your thing. I don't know what you have going on, but what does Jen do like when you chill and listen to music? If you like to listen to music, what is Jen listening to?
I'm normally I'm like a concoction of a few things. Okay, obviously I love my oldies.
Okay.
I love I got you. Hold on. Aaliyah. I'm really into SZA right now. I like some blues. I'm just a trip when it comes to music, and it's kind of crazy for me because I was not allowed to listen to secular music.
Oh, wow.
Until
so it was really serious in the household, like really
I had it on lock.
Wow.
So until I was about 12, 13 years old, and then I started, Well,
let me ask you this, because I know even me personally, I knew people like who, like you said, like that, or even preachers' kids, everything, right? Did that make you sometimes, that can, it's good and bad with that, it can make you more rebellious and make you like maybe more, or like, would you say that helped or hurt you, or how did you feel when you were, I mean, now I know that you can see what it did, but growing up at the time, how did you feel about that?
For me, I think of course I have my moments where I'm like, oh, I don't want to go to church for 3 days in a row,
Right.
but I feel like having that foundation from a young age, it really set my foundation. Just that.
Right.
No
That's what
matter.
I'm saying. I know you can see it now, and I'm sure you appreciate it now, but when you're at
Mhm.
the moment in real time,
Yeah.
sometimes we don't, right?
Of course. Yeah, there were times, of course, I didn't want to be there at church. I didn't want to wake up early. I didn't want to do all that. But it definitely did give me a foundation that no matter how far I'm pushed in a certain area of life or I stray myself, like because I'm human, we're all human.
Right.
I do have that line of like reeling me back in, like that's not you. Like
Right.
come
Right. Right.
so for myself, it's a good thing.
Right.
And I know, like for my brother, I think he rebelled against it, maybe. But for myself, like it always gave me a bit of like, no, that's not me. I'm gonna maybe go out and do this and dabble in something, but I'm always
You're
coming
gonna
back.
come back, being to come back.
Yeah.
I'm glad. See, I appreciate your answer and how like you can be real with that fact. Like everyone can't. That's why I say even maybe when you're growing up at that time, especially, but even
Yeah.
some grow more rebellious as well and more and get into more things, right? I'm glad that you can accept that fact and because like I said, some can't.
Right.
And I'm sure it shows now when you get older and like you say you see the foundation you built, the woman you become, and you probably appreciate that now.
Most definitely.
Because I know a lot of people who didn't go that path or maybe could have went that path or knew better but still chose not to. You know what I
Right.
mean? And we see how a lot of people end up. You know, and like you said, even your brother.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So you see it firsthand. I'm
Right.
sure he probably, I don't want to say regret or whatever, but knows how he was raised as well and the choices he could have made but chose not to.
Yeah.
We all do that.
Exactly. And then one thing that I can say, like probably, I'm not gonna. But one of my subscribers, like the biggest compliment I think I ever got from me was someone telling me, you know what, Jen, I appreciate you showing the way you love God and not forcing it on me.
Wow. I love that too. That's a great comment because that's why I asked you earlier. Because even though, like I'm gonna really be real with you, I've never even seen you. It's just for me, it seems that I sense that in you, or maybe heard you speak on it, but I've never heard you actually push that. Like this or that. But I got that from you, and I always knew that you were a woman of God. I don't know how or when I heard it, but it's how it's what you present anyway, without saying it. So
Yeah.
I can agree with that, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate the homie Paul as well because
Yeah.
he comes across the same way. We all know that Paul is saved and he loves God, but he
Hmm.
doesn't force it on anyone. You know what I
Right.
mean? And but he doesn't have to. You get it. You get it
Yeah.
from him,
It's kind of
but
like,
he's still able to be real and not like, oh, this holy moly guy. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
people
it's kind of
respect
like,
that.
that option is there. That door is open if you need to speak or someone or you want to. But it's important to me, anyways, not to feel like you're pushing it or forcing it on someone because I think that's the worst thing to do. That's going to
Right,
make someone not want to hear what you have to say.
right,
And now
right,
I say that also just being real. Despite all of, that and saying like, yes, I'm a Christian, like I have a strong foundation of God. I struggle with human things every day. Like I still struggle with depression and anxiety very much.
mm,
So that's like a real live thing in my life. So,
mm,
don't think that just because, you know, you struggle with those things, like you're doing something wrong or you're you're not God doesn't have favor on your life. He does. I mean, these are just the human things we're dealing with as well.
right, right. What do you say to those women? Because I again, I believe women will listen to you, respect your opinion, your honesty. What do you say to those women out there, like you said, who, and we see it now more than ever, especially with social media,
Yeah.
how things technology is with, everyone lives for like the social, like, these young women, they're raised by this. They think they have to be a certain way, look a certain way. And it's now more than ever as we see how these young ladies are.
Mhm.
What would you say to the young ladies out there who um what I want to say, not suffer or deal with um self-love, or
Yeah.
knowing how to love themselves properly, or how to look or how to present themselves when they're confused, or some may not have the proper role models, may not be in a proper household where they're raised to know, so all they have is social media or someone they so-called look up to, um and now they think, oh, doing this is the way, or I have to be this way, I have to look this way, or I want to get uh this
Mhm.
done to me or whatever. What would you say to those ladies out there?
That's interesting you say that because I just came across an article earlier on Facebook where this young woman, absolutely drop dead gorgeous, like would stop anyone in their tracks to look at her, right? She just went to, and this is no shade to anyone, that do what you want with your own body yourself. It doesn't, but the point is, like, I saw her as like, wow, this is a gorgeous woman, and she went to go get some body work done.
Mm,
3 young children at home. She didn't live.
mm,
So we are, you know, with technology, with social media, as females, I think we're all able to admit, like, we are living in the world of, like, where we're comparing ourselves to everyone,
yeah,
and we're
fact.
picking ourselves apart constantly. I do, I do it, like,
Especially women. That's why I asked, because it
yeah,
seems like women the most go through whatever. Sometimes I don't know. 'Cause I'm like, I'm the same way. I see beautiful women that go and do things I don't think they need to do, but obviously they feel they need to do it. So and that's something we can't. No matter what we say or whatever, it's going on. So obviously they feel this way. So
yeah.
I just I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like we all do it to a certain degree. Maybe some of us feel it a little more than others. Like, and all it takes sometimes is for one person to make like a nasty comment, like about your body or your how you look, or but just understand that most of those people that are saying those things are deflecting. They have their
Right,
own issues, and
right.
they're trying to feel better about themselves by putting us down somehow. Be good with yourself. Be good with your heart. Um, One of the coolest things that I read this story lately too is, do you know how an oyster creates a pearl? Have you ever heard that? How that comes to be, the story? Okay, so only the oysters who are injured or have something that hurts them or damages them are able to create a pearl. So ladies, keep in mind that you might feel like you've had it rough in life, and a lot of us have, but
Right.
sometimes the most beat down or damaged, or people that feel like they don't have any value, are the ones who create the most beautiful heart and soul. And I feel like that's the part of beauty that we should be concentrating on, like your heart, your spirit, how you treat others, how you
Yeah.
love others.
Yes. Definitely, I agree, because to me, the most beautiful women that I see, are the ones who have the beauty from within.
Yeah.
Of course, we love the beauty outside. That's obvious. We see that, but sometimes if it doesn't, especially now. I mean, we were younger, maybe no, but now as we get older, we really appreciate the love from within, the beauty from within, more
Right.
so from the outside. Because I think when you have the beauty within, it makes the beauty on the outside shine even more.
Even
And when you
more.
don't have the beauty within, it depreciates the beauty outside. 'Cause a lot of women are beauty outside, and we know this, but if it doesn't
Right.
match inside, it's not. It's kind of gone in 5 minutes. Okay, well, you're beautiful, but hey,
Mhm.
it's not there. So I appreciate that, and I think that that's what women need to know. And us men have to learn to show this more, because what's going on with a lot of women too, I understand too, a lot of women are broken, damaged, they've been through so much, is that, that is the way they are now, and men, don't like it, or some, but the truth
Mhm.
is that a lot of men have put these women through this, and a lot of women have been damaged, man, a lot,
Yeah.
so they are like, now, whatever mind state they're in, whether some, go and maybe like women now, or maybe are harder on men, or have
Yes.
a mentality where, how they are, and it is what it is. You
Yeah. And
know, go ahead.
that's a good point you made, because we do as women, I'll speak for myself. I don't want to speak for all women, but I think a lot of the ladies can co-sign me here. When we're hurt by someone, or we're told something, you know, hateful about ourselves, whether it be our appearance or how we are, if a man speaks to us that way, a lot of us can sort of hold that anger, and that can turn into bitterness. And when it turns into bitterness, that's when you lash out. And you don't want to carry that into your next relationship or your next marriage or even your friendship. Like, it's important to realize that person that hurt you or did that damage to you, you're giving them even more power if you continue to treat others based on those experiences. So
Right.
it's important to let that go and move forward. And yeah, I mean, if you have a beautiful heart, it's going to radiate through. If you have ugliness in your heart, it's going to dim who you really are.
But how does one, Jen, would you say, because that's a thin line as well, how does one, maybe a female that has been through so much and she is broken, and now, like you said, doesn't know how to, like someone like you, maybe forgive, or, release that anger and not feel bitter and carry that on, because that happens too, where you
Yeah,
have women that are broken, even men have issues that are not resolved, and they bring that into another relationship, and that relationship doesn't work, and the next one doesn't work, and now we're starting to wonder why things don't work, and it's because you're probably never properly healed correctly. A lot of
exactly.
people don't take time to heal, they just maybe jump into another relationship, right? Or
I
don't
think
know how to love their self, and you can't love someone else if you don't love yourself.
I think that's probably the most common thing that we do, right? Is jump right into the next relationship to try not to feel that loneliness or pain, whatever it is you went through. Honestly, I feel like, and I'm not speaking like on behalf of people in recovery because I don't know what that's like, but I think that motto of take it day by day, minute by minute, it's important to even carry that with you when it comes to your own healing,
Right.
your emotional healing, your healing your heart. There's still days when I remember certain things that were said to me or done to me, and I'll think, ooh, you know what I mean? It'll take me back to that moment.
Right.
But then I feel that ugliness inside, and I don't like that. I don't want to be that person.
Right.
So I have to check myself and be like, you know what? That did happen, and that was wrong. But you know what? If I carry that with me, I just feel like it drains me, like it takes from me. It's not pouring anything back into me.
Right.
So I just try to, yeah, I felt that. Allow yourself to feel it. Like that didn't feel good, that hurt, and just say to yourself, I'm not going to allow that to happen to me again. Or maybe the next time, if that does happen to you, you're going to check that right there on the very first time and not allow it to continue. Like,
Well, do you how, I mean, but what do you credit, like, cause see, that's sometimes easier said than done, Jen. Like, you made that sound easy, but it is a lot of scorned women, and a
mhm,
lot of women not only scorn, but like you said, take that now and really, like, I've talked to someone that they really just feel a certain way, and this is just how it is, and they don't, it just, like, they may be some great women, beautiful,
mhm,
whatever, but whatever they feel about this, like, say, like, we're just speaking of past relationships or how they feel about men, this is
yeah,
just it, and that's it. I don't care, and they carry that with
yeah.
them, um, and I don't know, like, some, like, how would you? Like I said again, it's easier said than done, but what do we do about that part? Because, like, some women are just kind of stuck on how they are, and you're not going to convince them otherwise.
They're hurt. They're hurt and they're carrying that with them as a defense mechanism. because it's
Right.
like, I'm not going to let anyone do me like that again, you
Right.
know. But what you're doing in the long run is you're creating that hard exterior and you're diminishing your own femininity. And that's part of what makes us like divine, beautiful creatures. And if you can just chip away at that hard shell and realize that, you know, you're valuable. You know, you're God made you in his image. Like there is somebody out there that's gonna love you right when it's the right time. Don't just give yourself to anybody.
Right.
Value yourself first. And I think that can start to be a path of healing that hard exterior and letting your guard down. And understand that men are feeling that way too. There are men out there that have been emasculated, beaten down by females too, and they're going through things as well. So it's not just women.
Very correct. Very correct. There's a lot of men out there who's going through it too. And men, the same way, have their way of acting too. You know, I'm not going to say how they do, but, you know, men go through it as well. So it's like a lot of people have, I think, again, it goes back to healing. A lot of people have a lot of healing to do and may not know how to heal correctly or how to learn to love themselves, you know, and it's okay sometimes, you know, to do that, be alone. You don't have to jump into, like she said, another relationship. You got to learn, you know, learn yourself, learn to, you know, a lot of things you have to learn, I think, to be in a healthy relationship anyway, because that's where a lot of relationships aren't healthy because people don't know a lot of times the right things to do besides just love someone or have sex or whatever they do good or whatever. It's a lot more things that go into that once we learn, especially when you build a bond and think about a family and responsibilities. It's a lot of things that go with that, and a lot of people are not ready for that. But they still get into relationships regardless, you know, have children and all these things that, you know, that we find out later, you know, people are not ready for. So we have to live and learn.
Yeah. It's important to learn that. And I'm saying that out of my own experience. So I'm not saying that like a judgment type of way. Looking back, I mean, without getting in too much detail, I've never really been alone. So it is the natural thing to do for some of us to just be in a relationship, whether that be healthy or not. But it's important to realize sometimes when that relationship is actually harming you. And
That's a great, I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people don't, I don't want to say don't get to see it. I think what happens when, like you just said, to know when a relationship is harming you, sometimes it's almost too late. Sometimes you're already, especially for a female, more so than a male, because, you know, women attack. So sometimes it's too late when you find that out. Now you're in an abusive relationship, maybe physical, mentally, you know, and it's kind of too late because you're too all in, and especially females, they really, you know, have emotions and feelings and they're attached to someone, or maybe now you have kids or you're pregnant. It's a lot of things that go with that, and now you find out when it's too late that, okay, this relationship is not healthy, but how do I just get out of it? It's not that simple.
It's not. And that's the point, like finding a way. If it's like that, finding a way out, finding a safe way out, and having the right people around you to encourage you, I think is key.
Yes, I agree. Again, people, Jen Magana, Convicted Hearts. I mean, I know we talked about a lot. I'm not going to hold you. I know it's Friday. You got things to do. You grace me with your time, and I really appreciate it. Is there anything before we wrap it up that we did not speak about that you want to speak about or put out there?
I just want to, I mean, obviously, thank you so much for having me on your platform. It's truly an honor. You know, I feel like I know you already, but, you know, I mean, I appreciate you allowing me on your platform tonight. And
you're welcome.
Everyone that's in the chat, I just want to encourage everyone. Like I said, there's a lot of heavy hearts going on during the holidays. Just reach out to someone if you're going through something. Don't feel hesitant. Don't feel like you're being weak. There's people out there that are willing to listen and embrace you and will be actually glad that you reached out.
Yes.
Oh. And somebody asked what am I making for Christmas? So I'm going to do one day with one side of my family. We always do like a crab dinner, crab and prime rib. The other side of my family, I'm making tamales. And my youngest son, we're going to have a little bit of both types of, I'll post some videos for sure and share that with you.
My question was, what do you have planned special for the holidays, Christmas time? I mean, I'm sure, like you said, I'm sure a lot, but anything like really special you're looking forward to?
Really special. Okay, so I don't know who is getting it this year, but there's like a tradition that we have, right? Mm-hmm. There's this little box, and whoever gets this box, it's a different person every year. Mm-hmm. For Christmas. It's like, how do you call that? Like where they leave a note in the box and tell you to go to one location. And then there's a note there that tells you to go to the next location.
Oh.
Next, and then
the mystery box.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to see who gets the mystery box this year and what the actual gift is at the end of all.
Do you want to get it? Does that mean are you looking forward to maybe getting the mystery box this year?
I feel like
overdue. You're overdue, Jen.
I kind of feel like I need that. Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna speak that into existence tonight.
Right.
That Jen gets the mystery box this year for Christmas. Right. Yeah, scavenger hunt. We need Denise to get the mystery box this year.
That's right.
Please, God, help us out.
I know. That would be nice. But yeah, just enjoying my time with my kids. I don't know. I feel blessed to be able to be close to all of them and have them in my life. I know a lot of people are sort of spread out, all over right now. So I'm just grateful. I feel like I have a grateful heart.
You do. You said it right there. I think that sums everything up. You're grateful. You have a kind heart. Convicted Hearts is the name of the channel. And Jen, again, like I said earlier, to me, you just have a great spirit, a great aura, a great soul. Like when I see Jen, I just smile. You know what I mean? That's what I get from you, Jen. You just bring across the positivity, and I'm sure everyone loves you. You know what I mean? We want the best for you. Everything you want and wish for, we pray that you get it. You know what I mean? And you deserve it. And we're going to be here with you the whole way, rooting for you, on your side, supporting you, and doing everything we need to do. And then I'm always here too. Anything you need from me, always feel free to ask or let me know. I'm there for you for support, whatever I can do. I'm always there. And like I said, I really appreciate you and happy for you. Everything you do, because you inspire all of us. You know what I mean? Just to be better. So thank you, Jen. And thank you for being on my show tonight. It's long overdue. We have Jen Magana here, Convicted Hearts, people. It's a blessing. Thank you.
Such a blessing to be here. Thank you.
Yes, and I want you to have a great weekend, a great holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Yes.
And all of that. Salute.
That's right.
Salute.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any shout outs you want to give or anything before we get out of here?
Just everyone we mentioned, shout out to everybody on the round table, Cholo Trucker, Pablo, Sunny, Joe, Denise, my sis, House, Nayla, Vanessa, everybody that's in the chat are like, each of you have a very special place in my heart. Anyone that's ever allowed me to interview them, I appreciate that. And I pray for you guys. I know you guys pray for me. And shout out to you for doing what you do and being such an amazing person.
Thank you. Once again, Jen Magana, Convicted Hearts. Go follow her channel right now. She's on YouTube. And also tell them your IG and all the other handles you want them to know as well.
Yeah, I have Convicted Hearts Jen Magana on IG. So I'm pretty active on that. I do have a Facebook, Convicted Hearts. I'm not very active on that. I'm going to start putting more things on it though. But yeah, you guys can get at me on Instagram if you need to and follow me there.
There it is, people. If you missed anything tonight, go back and check out the replay You know what I mean? This is Jen Convicted Hearts. I am G-Lew. This is the G-Lew Show. Shout out to my producer, DD Hairston. Shout out to my partner, Nate Love. Check us out this Sunday. Oldies Rule Forever Sundays. And also check out all my homies' channels, man. Go support them and follow them. Incredible Javier, the Traviesos. Jen is on there. Drunken Chef, Joe, LA Times, Pablo, Cholo Trucker, my boy Big D, keeping it real. All my loved ones, I appreciate and love you guys. And you guys have a great weekend. We'll see you next time. Thank you, Jen.
Love you guys. Thank you.
All right. Peace and love, everyone. Good night. We're out of here.
Buenas noches.
Buenos noches. Good night.